Good morning, guys and girls. This is Monday. As I said in the last video before, when I did the test on the paper, the multimedia paper. Okay, so you probably have seen in my Instagram social media my little set that I use during my painting of the Roots collection, and eventually I'll get there. So this is the reason why this set works a lot better than before. Before I joined school, this is the brush. See how the bristles did not last or withhold the test of time. I love Master's Touch. I started with acrylic, like a lot of people know. Then eventually I ventured into school, but before that I tested some oil paintings and a little bit of watercolor. But now, this is why this is a 1-inch round brush, and when I use this brush in my acrylic paintings, the hairs are left all, as you can see right here, into my canvas. Yes, sometimes some people will say it creates texture, but that's not the look that I was going for, or it just did not look right. So I love Master's Touch, don't get me wrong, but it's not for your artist professional career. And this is why, because it doesn't last. Now when we after we're done painting, we always have to rinse our brushes. The way that we do it is with ivory soap or with lava soap. Yes, lava soap is for mechanics, but it takes, and we squiggle it around in the in the soap, and so we can get every single bristle inside of this brush. So we can, and then we rinse it off, and then it's ready for us to use again. This one did not last, for me. So when I came to school, this is a 16-inch flat Princeton brush, and I bought my entire set. I was very blessed, and when my professor, the first week of my first semester back in school, back in 2019, hi Professor Douglas, she gave us, we always go to class and we get explained what the teacher expects, and then we get the syllabus. So for students that never went to, that haven't decided, but they're gonna start this next, August, this next fall, the first day of class is very important. Don't miss it. The only thing you have to do is just go to class, show up to class, and then from there you'll get the instructions. I know it's scary, but then you meet friends and then it's not so scary. So it's better to have your friends of your peer group that you create, so that way it will be a lot easier, especially after the pandemic. We're still all trying to get out of the fear of being around a lot of people because of the pandemic and other situations, right? So addressing back this, my first day, back, I had a hiatus over a decade ago. So imagine me coming back to school with my backpack, and yes, I used my backpack throughout my semester because I was able to carry my books, all of my supplies, and then eventually I had to add more bags, which is like very funny. Even though we had lockers, because it's a lot more better for me than going back and forth, from my car. So yeah, I did not live in campus, but that's a different story. So anyhow, so this brush, I got my brushes of my professional set, in the bookstore. You see how nice these bristles are? Could you tell just by looking at this brush like that with this brush, it lasted me the whole time? the whole time, guys, versus, oops, I need to buy another brush, not even a week after. So the whole time and still running through, my next step in life. So this is why it's very important that we show up for school, because they tell us, the materialist, where to get it, the reason why we're getting it, and then during the instruction, during the professor is going to give us like very detailed information, basically the rules of why you do it a certain way, versus, I'm going to lecture you. But if you write down in your sketchbook those little nuggets, you'll have them for a lifetime. So we're looking for our BFFs to be there not only for a reason, a season, but for a lifetime. So this is why we do the things that we do. That's why we go to school, we get instructed, we get structure. Because obviously, Rome wasn't created in one day, but it has structure. Even back when we go to history, they had a time for getting up, getting ready, going to, I guess the smoker room for the guys, and the girls were not allowed. But going into contemporary art, eventually we were led into, that smoking room that the guys go to, or in the little teepee, that our fellow co-humans created. So in this brush, the same thing. I apply the ivory soap after, doing oil paintings. This is the brush that I use. Why did I use it? Because most of my canvases, I started with 16 by 20, and then I ended up with 7 feet by 6 feet. Yes, you'll fall in love with it. If art is in your blood, this is what, you're passionate about it. This is what you need to know. I'm not going to lecture you guys. I'm not going to tell you blah, blah, blah. You got to, no, the art that we create, it has an intention behind it. The more that you do it and it's your intention, you remember that I am, that is what we're trying to see. What is the essence of your palette, of your work, the reasons that you're looking to use those colors? What is it that you are? So that intent, that is what the professors are looking to bring in out in your art. So when you have that conversation with your public, you are telling them your story. That's why you can't hide behind your art. If you look at it, if you look at a lot of my paintings, now I'm in front of my art and my art is behind me, because we tend to hide ourselves behind of art. I had never in the past, I had a public speaking class many, many, many decades ago. And then, the pandemic hit, and a lot of people are introverts, a lot of people are extroverts, a lot of people do know how. But when later on, I'll tell you guys more. But and I have said that, on my videos, that I will tell you more eventually in an intimate setting. And intimate, I don't mean, yeah, no. What I mean intimate is meaning that person that knows you really, really well, and knows you, what do you like, what do you do, what do you eat, where did you went to school, and blah, 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 blah. You see, so the words that you use, because in art we use words too, when you paint, you use words, you use emotion, you use expression, your senses, your intuition. So all that we paint, we sketch, and we go ahead and study it. So this is why we're having this conversation with my brushes. So going back over here, this is not a Princeton brush, but I'm bringing it out. So this is a 18-inch filbert round. This one, it's kind of loose from right here, so I cherish it a lot, because these were my first brushes that before I started school. So this one didn't get hit as much. So, I still use it. And yes, I used it for like, different, you can see here, different uh, creations in there. So going forward, this is part of my set that I bought at school, the 42 Filbert, and they didn't have a Princeton, so I grabbed the Robert Simmons that they had there at the bookstore. Like I mentioned, I bought every single brush there at the bookstore. This one is a round one, and the bristles are amazing. This is my set that I used and continue to use it. Every single, bristle is intact. Can you see? I'm still amazed that I didn't mess up this set. This is my first professional set of brushes. Like, I'm like, and, I continue to compare back and forth. And I'm like, there's no comparison. I am so glad that I used, my money towards buying my materials, and this one as well is, from the Princeton, from the bookstore there at Western, and this one as well. And you see how well it's still, can you tell right there, the brushes are still intact, they're soft, they're not all messed up, but because we rinsed it out really, really good, with our ivory soap and our lava soap. And that is my set. I use this one. This one is not from Princeton. This is just a regular. I got it for my gesso. And this one is all messed up. This is the one that it got used the most. And can you see it's kind of loose from right here? So I had to replace it with this one. And as soon as you use your gesso and you cover it, make sure that you rinse out this brush with the same ivory soap and lava soap, so you will have the bristles very soft like this one, as you can see. Very nice, right? And of course I have my knife, for the mixing of the paint. And okay, this one, I laugh at this one because I bought it thinking that this particular item that is holding my brushes came with this set. And this one, I bought it as well way before I even bought this kind of brush. And I'm like, oh, so cool. And then when it arrived, these bristles are so hard. This one's, I used some of these brushes from this set to apply wax on my ceramics. But for ceramics, we use bamboo brushes, so we can apply the silica, the glaze, into the item or utensil, cylinders that we're using or that we're creating, or sculpture. So this one, I love you guys, but this one I used it for waxing and ivory soap and lava soap on this one, and a lot of hot water. That's why it's still intact. This is like the last one of this set. It came, every single little thing like that, it came with a brush from this set. But I bought it way before I even started school. This one I bought it in 2016, and this one I bought it like right after. And there's like in my social media, I think it's in my Facebook and my personal one, where I'm like in front of the Master's Touch setup, and I have like a little pose in there. So yeah. So this is the video that I am doing, and I think for the reason why I use my brushes and why I use the brushes that my professors told me to use Another thing, every professional person or student, as soon as they start their career, please, 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 guys, start buying your materials and keeping them, because this is gonna end up in your studio. This is how you're gonna move forward. If you're in photography, buy that camera. Trust me, you'll need it to do your portfolio so you can move forward with it. If you're gonna invest in something, invest in yourself so you can become a better person, so you can make more money, so you can provide more for your family, and because it will just make you a lot cooler. So see you in class. I am still planning. I just graduated, so thank you so much. And this is just a humble video showing the reason why I use these brushes, the reason why I don't use the other brushes. And no, you don't have to buy every single brush, but buy every single brush in your list that your professor will give you in your syllabus. Bye.